There was a moment in a man's life when he realized something terrifying. Not that he was poor, not that he was struggling, not that he didn't have opportunities, but that he was constantly distracted while his life was quietly slipping away in the background. Let me tell you something right from the beginning. Most people are not failing because they don't know what to do. They are failing because they cannot stay with themselves long enough to become what they need to become. And think about that for a moment. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more advice. You don't need another video, another book, another seminar. Here's what most people don't understand. Your life is not changing because you are constantly escaping yourself. Every time silence appears, you grab your phone. Every time boredom appears, you chase noise. Every time discomfort appears, you run toward distraction. And slowly, without even realizing it, you are building a life where you are never alone with your thoughts long enough to meet your real self. I learned something years ago, and it changed everything I understood about success. Success is not built in public. It is built in private, in silence, in repetition, in discipline when nobody is watching. Let me take you somewhere deeper. Imagine two men. Both want success. Both want money. Both want respect. Both want freedom. But one of them cannot sit in a room for 30 minutes without checking his phone, without talking to someone, without escaping into entertainment. The other one sits in silence. Not because it is comfortable, but because he understands something powerful. Silence is where identity is built. Now ask yourself honestly, which one of those two men is growing? Here's what happens in life. The world does not reward what you say you want. The world rewards what you can repeatedly do without applause. And most people never understand this. They think motivation is the answer, but motivation fades. They think inspiration is the answer, but inspiration comes and goes. What remains is discipline. And discipline is not loud. Discipline is quiet. Discipline is boring. Discipline is invisible. Let me tell you something deeper. Your future is not being shaped in your best moments. Your future is being shaped in your smallest habits. The way you wake up, the way you sit alone, the way you handle boredom, the way you respond when nobody is watching. I want you to think about this. There is a version of you that only appears in silence, not in public, not in front of friends, not when you are trying to impress someone, but in silence, when no one is there to judge you, correct you, or praise you. That version of you is either building your future or destroying it. And most people never meet that version honestly enough to change it. Let's go deeper into something Jim Rohn used to emphasize in his own way. And if you listen carefully, you will hear it in everything successful people say, even if they don't say it directly. Your life changes when you change your standards, not your dreams, not your wishes, your standards. What will you tolerate from yourself when nobody is watching? Because here's the truth. You can lie to the world, but you cannot lie to repetition. If you repeat laziness, you become lazy. If you repeat discipline, you become strong. If you repeat excuses, you become weak. If you repeat silence with focus, you become dangerous in the best possible way. Think about this for a moment. Most people are addicted to noise because silence forces them to confront reality. And reality is uncomfortable when you are not growing. In silence, you hear your thoughts. In silence, you feel your habits. In silence, you notice your lack of discipline. So instead of sitting with that truth, people escape. But growth never happens in escape. Growth happens in confrontation. There was a man I once heard about, ordinary background, nothing special, no advantages. He didn't change his life by discovering something new in the world. He changed his life by removing everything unnecessary from his world. He stopped reacting to every message instantly. He stopped consuming entertainment all day. He stopped talking about dreams and started working in silence. And slowly, something strange happened. People around him started noticing change before he did. That's how transformation works. It is invisible in the beginning. Let me tell you something very important. You are not behind in life because you lack talent. You are not behind because you lack opportunity. You are behind because your attention is scattered. And scattered attention cannot build anything meaningful. Think about a magnifying glass. When sunlight is scattered, it feels warm. But when it is focused, it burns through steel. That is the difference between average life and powerful life. Focus is not just productivity. Focus is identity. And focus is born in silence. Here's what most people don't understand. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of truth. And truth is uncomfortable for people who are addicted to comfort, so they avoid it. But every strong person you admire, every disciplined person you respect, every successful person you study, they all have one thing in common. They learned how to sit alone with their thoughts and not run away. Let me go even deeper with you. There will come a point in your life when regret will speak louder than motivation, and regret is a painful teacher. Regret will ask you, why didn't you start earlier? Why did you waste so much time? Why did you choose comfort over growth? And at that moment, no excuse will satisfy you. So you have two choices right now, pain of discipline or pain of regret. One hurts you now and builds you. The other feels easy now and destroys you later. And life always collects its price. Always. Let me tell you something I wish more people understood early. You don't become strong in the moment of success. You become strong in the moment of resistance. When you don't feel like working, but you still do. When you don't feel like learning, but you still sit down. When you don't feel like continuing, but you refuse to quit. That is where identity changes. Think about a simple truth. A weak mind avoids discomfort. A strong mind uses discomfort. And silence is the training ground of that strength. Because in silence, there is no entertainment to numb you. There is no crowd to motivate you. There is only you and your standards. And that is where transformation begins. I remember something powerful I once reflected on deeply. Most people think their problem is external. But the real battle is internal. You are not fighting people. You are not fighting circumstances. You are fighting your own resistance to growth. And that resistance becomes louder when you are alone. That is why most people fear being alone for too long, because alone time exposes their habits. But here is the truth that will change your perspective. If you cannot be productive in silence, you will never be powerful in public. Let me repeat that. What you do in silence becomes your reputation in time. Now think about your daily life. What happens when nobody is watching you? What do you do with your free time? What do you do when you feel lazy? What do you do when you feel unmotivated? Because those moments, those invisible moments, are shaping your entire destiny. Let me bring you into a deeper philosophy. Life does not reward intensity alone. Life rewards consistency. And consistency is built when no one is clapping. That's why silence is so important.